Hi, it's Doug. I have a question for you. What's the most amazing cloud you've ever seen? Look at these floating in the sky. Now, clouds come in all sorts of different shapes and different sizes. Back in 2012, a man named Bernard Smeald got worldwide attention when he announced that he'd figured out a way to create a cloud inside, in a room like this. Here's another of Bernard's cloud creations. Isn't that crazy? This cloud is totally real. There's nothing fake here. It's the same as a cloud in the sky. Now, how did he do this? What did he make a cloud out of? I mean, what are clouds really anyway? Where do they come from? Like, are clouds the same thing as the smoke that comes from a fire? Or are clouds slightly more solid, kind of like cotton candy material? Clouds float up there in the sky. They look so puffy. Artists and cartoonists, they make it seem like you could just lounge around on them. What do you think? If you could reach up and touch a cloud, what do you think it would feel like? Have you ever touched a cloud? Maybe you've seen a cloud come very low, like this, over a mountain. You could hike up to the top of the mountain and reach out and grab it. Or if a cloud comes even lower, do you recognize this? It's fog. Fog is just a cloud that's come down to the ground. That's really your best chance to get to touch a cloud. Now, if there's ever fog that comes by your neighborhood, go out and try to touch it. Notice what it feels like. I notice that when fog comes through my neighborhood, it leaves behind little droplets of water on everything. My windows, on the car windshield, everywhere. But another way to touch a cloud is to actually go up there and jump through one, like these skydivers are about to do. So in case you've never felt a cloud, I'll show you a video of a skydiver who is purposely going to jump through one. Let's watch. Okay, the airplane, they're getting ready to jump. And now they're gonna let go. One by one. What did you notice? Let's watch it one more time. What can you learn about the cloud as the skydiver jumps through it? So as you saw in the video, clouds aren't solid or soft or fluffy. This skydiver goes right through one. I'm guessing the clue you noticed the most was all those little droplets of water on the camera lens. That's what you feel when you feel a cloud. Clouds aren't like cotton candy or smoke at all. Clouds are all watery. They're wet. So based on everything you've seen now, it would seem that clouds have lots of tiny droplets of water in them. That's probably not too surprising. I mean, rain comes from clouds. So there must be water that somehow gets up into the sky. Now, there's plenty of water here on Earth. There's lakes and oceans and rivers. But it's not like it ever rains upwards, where you see water going from the ground up into the sky. So how would little droplets of water get up there into the clouds? Well, take a look at this. This is a puddle of water in someone's driveway. Let's use a sped up video and watch it for a while. What happens? You see that? The water in the puddle is disappearing. Now, it's worth noting, this cement is solid. There's no cracks or holes for the water to drain into. So that's kind of weird. Well, have you ever seen a pot of water when you boil it? You see how something is moving up from the pot into the air? You hear this stuff called steam or water vapor. As you keep boiling the water, eventually all of the liquid water in the pot goes away, and the pot will be empty. The water in the pot became this steam that was rising up. The steam rising off the top of a boiling pot of water, this is what scientists call water in its gas state. You see, water comes in 3 different forms or states. You already know about the other 2. There's the solid state of water. That's what we call ice. Ice is still water, it's just a different form of water. It's water in its frozen or solid state. And if you melt ice, you get ordinary water itself. That's water in its liquid state. But the steam rising off a boiling pot of water, that's a 3rd state, the gas state. We can call it water gas. Now, the gas state is when water leaves the container. It can move and go up into the air around us. This process of going from a liquid to a gas, in science we call this evaporation. We say that the liquid water evaporates, rising up out of the container as it becomes a gas. Now, you know the water from this puddle example was not hot, like the boiling water, and we didn't really see anything coming off the top of it like we did with the boiling pot. So is this the same thing? Could the water still be evaporating, escaping into the air, even if it's not boiling? Well, here's another sped up video you gotta see. This is an ordinary glass of water. You see the water level at the top? Now let's watch what happens when this glass of water is left out on the counter for a few days. Notice what happened? The water level went down. So even though the water isn't boiling, when you leave it sitting out, it still seems to do the same thing as boiling water, just much more slowly. In fact, if you look really carefully, you can even see a little bit of it when it first rises up out of the glass. Then it spreads out into the room. And it turns out that if you use warm water in the glass,